Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns. Bold predictions for WWE in the summer of 2024. Dominik Mysterio chooses Liv Morgan over Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley sends a disturbing message targeting Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. A superstar suffers a serious injury during a recent show. WWE SummerSlam forces major changes in plans for AEW. New Bloodline members officially added to the WWE roster. Roman Reigns attacks Cody Rhodes. Let's dive right in. Rhea Ripley sends a disturbing message targeting Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. WWE superstar Rhea Ripley doesn't seem too happy about what's happening with Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. On Instagram, she shared an interesting story that seems to target the duo. It's been about 2 weeks since Liv Morgan kissed Dirty Dom on WWE Raw and took the wrestling world by storm. On this week's Raw, she continued wooing Dom, and Finn Balor had to intervene. Dominik was caught smiling at Liv Morgan on the episode. Rhea Ripley has interestingly not commented on the situation yet. She is currently out with an injury and is spending her break with her fiancé, Buddy Matthews. On her latest story, the Nightmare shared a reel that seems to target Liv and Dirty Dom. The story's caption states, "Working out because murder is wrong." Also, the music used in the reel is the entrance theme of the late Chris Benoit, who became infamous for taking the lives of his wife and son, and then taking his own life. This disturbing incident led to the complete removal of the rabid Wolverine from WWE history. Mommy is bound to return to WWE TV somewhere down the line. Dominik recently had a chat with Matt Aguilar of Comic Book Nation and had the following to say about Ripley's return. So the fact that she was already getting this insane reaction, and people were seeing her every week, and now she's gonna be gone for a couple months. You don't know she's gonna come back. You have no idea what's gonna happen. Then it's like, once you hear her music, people are gonna freaking lose their minds. Mark my words, people are gonna talk about it as one of the biggest reactions in wrestling history. Rhea Ripley had to vacate her Women's World title belt after Liv Morgan's backstage attack, which injured her. She would love to exact revenge on Morgan when she returns. A superstar suffers a serious injury during a recent show. Many WWE superstars have been injured lately, across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. While some have not been too serious, the latest name to join the injury list will be out for 6 months. WWE NXT star Javier Bernal took to Twitch to heartbreakingly announce that he suffered a broken foot and will miss 6 months of in-ring action. He got the injury during a spot at the most recent tapings for NXT Level Up. Bernal teamed up with Drake Moreau against Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne of Chase U. Initially told he would not need it, an emotional Javier Bernal confirmed that he would undergo surgery and be away from WWE for 6 months. "I've broken my foot in a few places. It stinks. It is what it is. I found out 2 days ago that I broke it in a few places. Initially, I was told that I probably wasn't going to need surgery, but then, the next day, the MRI was a little cloudy, and they looked at it, and it looks like I probably will have surgery on my foot. I was looking at 6 weeks with no surgery, and from what I understand, it's looking like 6 months with surgery," Javier Bernal said. Bernal did not wrestle much outside of NXT Level Up and Live events, although he did appear on SmackDown in February 2024. He and Moreau got squashed by the Authors of Pain. It remains to be seen when the 25-year-old star will return to WWE following this injury. We wish Javier Bernal a speedy recovery, and hopefully he can return to the ring as quickly as possible. SummerSlam forces major changes in plans for AEW. The new era of WWE is moving forward into what looks like it could be the biggest summer ever for the Stamford-based company. AEW is also having a milestone year as they are celebrating their 5th anniversary, but new details have emerged on how the Tony Khan-led promotion has changed plans to prevent another major mishap. The 2023 WWE SummerSlam Premium Live event aired on Saturday, August 5th, beginning at 7 p.m. ET with the kickoff. It was headlined by Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in a tribal combat match. An episode of Collision also aired that night, headlined by real AEW World Champion CM Punk defeating Ricky Starks. The episode aired in the normal 8 p.m. ET time slot and was a key stop on the road to All-In pay-per-view. However, Collision suffered a major drop in ratings up against Peacock's SummerSlam and ESPN's UFC Fight Night. The 2-hour episode drew 417,000 viewers, down from 739,000 the week before, and a 0.13 rating in the 1849 key demographic, down from the 0.27 key rating demographic the week before. WWE announced 2 days later that it was the most watched SummerSlam in history, among the top 3 audiences in Peacock Company history, and the most viewed social SummerSlam ever, with over 230 million views and 4 million hours of video consumed. UFC drew a 0.23 key demo rating and 695,000 viewers at 6 p.m. ET for the first half of Fight Night, Sandhagen vs. Font, then 1,035,000 viewers and a 0.38 key demo rating for the second half at 9 p.m. New information indicates how AEW has a two-step plan to hopefully save Collision from a SummerSlam beating on Saturday, August 3, 2024. The first step involves AEW scheduling a Collision taping for Thursday, August 1, 2024 at the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. This event is a part of the summer series of events on the path to AEW All In. The second step will see Collision air on Saturday, August 3, 2024, at an earlier start time to be announced. The usual Collision start time of 8 p.m. ET was changed due to WWE airing in primetime instead, live from the Cleveland Browns Stadium. While AEW and TNT have not confirmed the special start time for that night, the schedule change was mentioned in data obtained by WrestleNomics for the Jacksonville-based promotions deal with the city of Arlington. The start time will likely be announced as we get closer to early August. Chris Jericho has been with AEW since the company launched in 2019. He previously signed a contract extension that will lock him in through December 2025, while expanding his backstage role to include creative advisor and producer duties. The Lionheart is often speculated on for a potential WWE return as he gets closer to the end of his in-ring career. While speaking to the Gabby AF podcast in a recent interview, the 53-year-old star commented on why a return to the Stamford-based company is not a must, and how he feels about his spot in AEW. To me, WWE isn't the be-all and all. It was great to be there. I had a great 20 years there, but I've had a great going on 5 years in AEW. I love working here. I love working with, not even for, with Tony Khan. WWE is a completely different animal now than when I left in 2017. It's been 6 years. It's not something I've really thought about. I like watching and reading about what's going on, the buzz that they have, but I also like my company, and I helped start AEW. I don't really see any reason why I would want to leave at this point. Never say that I wouldn't go, but I have zero plans of that. I like it here, and I like the people I work with, Chris Jericho said. Jericho last worked for WWE on April 27, 2018, in the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Before that, his last standard match was on July 25, 2017, where he was pinned by AJ Styles in a triple threat match, also involving Kevin Owens, on SmackDown Live. The Phenomenal One ended KO's title reign and captured the United States Championship. New Bloodline members officially added to the WWE roster. WWE has added more Bloodline members to their roster. The latest update comes at the same time as when another star's name was changed on SmackDown. In the absence of Roman Reigns, the Bloodline have been trying their best to make an impact in WWE. While they have not been successful in maintaining that same aura, Solo Sikoa has created a fearsome faction. They kicked Jimmy Uso out of the group and added Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa instead. The addition of the two Tongans has proven to be a bane for most other SmackDown superstars, with Kevin Owens, the Street Profits, and Randy Orton all falling victim to them at one point or the other. However, till now, the stars were not officially on the roster list for WWE.com. Now, though, the change has been made at the same time as the Bloodline member's name being changed. The two stars, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, are finally a part of the WWE roster page. Both the stars have had their bios and profiles added to the page, and have been featured on the current Superstars page as well, as with the addition of the two Tongans to the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa has been dominant on the Blue brand. They are currently the ones ruling the roost, with a hesitant Paul Heyman cowering under the new regime. Even when Roman Reigns returns, he will be outnumbered by Solo's team unless he can get more allies. Be it Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso or any other yet-to-debut stars, he may need support if he is not the one behind this faction in the first place. Fans will have to wait for the Tribal Chief's return to see how the story plays out, and if Sikoa goes back to supporting him like he did in the past. Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns. A backstage personality has pitched a massive angle where Paul Heyman could betray Roman Reigns and join forces with a popular WWE legend. Sam Roberts thinks the Wiseman siding with The Rock against the Tribal Chief could be a shocking twist that leaves the WWE Universe stunned. Both the Final Boss and Reigns are currently away from the promotion. In their absence, Solo Sikoa has taken control of the Bloodline. He has kicked out Jimmy Uso and enlisted Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa into the faction. On the other hand, Paul Heyman finds himself in a conflicted position as he's wary about Sikoa's unchecked power. Amid this, on the latest episode of his Not Some Wrestling podcast, Sam Roberts has pitched an angle that could further complicate the saga. The WWE backstage personality spoke about the possibility of the Wiseman betraying Roman Reigns upon his return, and revealing himself to be working for The Rock. Roberts suggested that if The Rock were to be secretly controlling the Bloodline, it would make sense for Heyman to choose a path where he's most likely to succeed. Would it make sense for the We to actually be Paul Heyman, that Paul has sided with the new Bloodline? And if The Rock is associated with the new Bloodline, wouldn't it make even more sense for Paul to associate himself with that new Bloodline, as that's where the success goes? Roberts said. During a recent edition of his Ryback TV podcast, the former Intercontinental Champion stated that the Tribal Chief could adopt a much more relaxed schedule going forward. Ryback stated that, owing to his health battles in the past, Roman Reigns could go the Undertaker way and compete annually only at WrestleMania. Well, Roman Reigns, was in remission. It's always in remission, right? It never just goes away. He's had an outstanding career and a long championship reign. Roman Reigns, doesn't need to be around for the next 20 years, and he has a family. I think he's made more than enough money. I think we could be seeing a much more limited schedule at the very least. Maybe he does WrestleMania like The Undertaker once a year, Ryback said. Roman Reigns was last seen at WrestleMania XL when he lost the undisputed WWE Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes. It took a lot of interference to take that title away from Reigns, and he has since taken a few months to recharge ahead of what could be an explosive return. In his absence, the Bloodline is no longer recognizable, and it seems that Solo Sikoa seems to be taking orders from someone who may not be Roman Reigns. Could Clash at the Castle, Scotland, be the best place for the return of the real Tribal Chief? Here we shall look at 4 possible ways. The head of the table could return next weekend at the Premium Live event in Glasgow, Scotland. Number 1, attacks Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes doesn't have a challenger for Clash at the Castle, Scotland as of writing, but it's unlikely that he will be without a match when WWE travels to Scotland next weekend. Since Rhodes is the man who took the title away from the Bloodline, it's common sense to expect any storyline with Reigns' return involving the current champion. If Rhodes is up against a Bloodline member at Clash at the Castle, it would be interesting to see if Reigns returns to attack his former rival, or if he returns with a completely different mindset. Number 2, reveals that he was indeed working with Solo Sikoa. It would be interesting to see Roman Reigns' reaction to the new Bloodline if he makes a surprise return this weekend. It still seems unclear if he has been pushing forward Solo Sikoa's plan all along. The former world champion has to return for the first time in 4 years without a title and could continue with the same story. While many fans believe that he could have a change of character, there is the possibility that he has been controlling the Bloodline all along, and it was indeed he that made the decision to kick Jimmy Uso out and recruit Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Number 3, reunites with Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso is reportedly injured after being kicked out of the Bloodline following his loss to Jey Uso at WrestleMania XL. Jimmy has since been on hiatus from WWE, but could have been working with Roman Reigns behind the scenes to reunite the old Bloodline. If Reigns didn't agree with the idea that Uso was kicked out of the Bloodline, then he could push for him to be added back. But at the moment, it's unclear if Reigns has been removed from the group following his WrestleMania XL loss. Number 4, Roman Reigns returns as a face, confronts Solo Sikoa. There is a lot of hope within the WWE universe that Reigns will ultimately make a return to WWE as a face. His actions with Paul Heyman on the ramp at WrestleMania XL have led to many fans to believe that Reigns will return as a face, and he could even go up against his former stable. Solo Sikoa has created his own team, and Roman Reigns could reunite the Usos and even bring in Jacob Anoa'i in order to set up another Bloodline civil war. Bold predictions for WWE in the summer of 2024. WWE cooled off a bit following WrestleMania 40, as is expected every year after the show of shows. However, the product has still been pretty solid. Things are heating up, and this summer promises to be an exciting one. With Clash at the Castle and Money in the Bank, both events taking place in the coming 5 weeks, WWE will likely spoil fans with surprises galore. That could mean title changes, career-defining moments, and some huge matches. We also have the potential return of Roman Reigns for SummerSlam. So, with that in mind, here are 5 bold predictions for the next 2 months of WWE programming, up until the biggest party of the summer. Number 1, Dominik Mysterio chooses Liv Morgan over Rhea Ripley. Dominik Mysterio has found himself in a love triangle of sorts, with Liv Morgan pursuing him. The Women's World Champion kissed Dirty Dom last week and was looking to seduce him in Rhea Ripley's absence. His true feelings aren't known, and we may have to wait until Mommy returns. She will reportedly be ready in time for SummerSlam, which could lead to a huge title match against Morgan. That's where Dominik will likely make his decision and ultimately betray Ripley to side with his new mommy. But why would he do that? Rhea Ripley manipulated Dominik Mysterio into joining the Judgment Day by repeatedly beating him up. That may be something Liv Morgan has already told him while showing love, and care, like when she stopped Dirty Dom from getting attacked by Braun Strowman. He may eventually fall for Morgan and leave Ripley behind. Number 2. The World Heavyweight title changes hands thrice. WWE has a tough decision to make next Saturday at Clash at the Castle. Drew McIntyre will challenge Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship in his homeland. The Scotsman must win and finally have the moment he missed 4 years ago. But will he? McIntyre will likely face CM Punk at SummerSlam, while Gunther is set to challenge for the world title. This is the issue right here, with WWE potentially being forced to book multiple world title changes on the road to SummerSlam. Damian Priest could instead keep the belt until August, before dropping it to the ring general. However, Drew McIntyre winning the World Heavyweight Championship in Glasgow is too huge a moment to pass on. It will likely happen, with Punk costing him the title in a rematch against Priest at Money in the Bank. Gunther can then dethrone him at SummerSlam, making it 3 title changes in less than 2 months. Number 3. It's Tiffy time at Money in the Bank. WWE needs to make an investment in this year's Miss Money in the Bank. Only one woman in history has held the briefcase for longer than 5 weeks. The very first winner, Carmella. That's why there has to be a plan and a worthy holder of the Money in the Bank contract. Tiffany Stratton might be the perfect choice, as she has been on the rise over the past few months. The former NXT Women's Champion is a compelling heel and could do well with the briefcase as an accessory. With WWE high on Stratton, this seems like a real possibility. Number 4. Jey Uso quits WWE Raw after the Bloodline costs him at Money in the Bank. While Tiffany Stratton might be the best choice to win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, there isn't a clear favorite on the men's side. Jey Uso has declared his intention of winning the contract, but WWE may have other plans for him. A backstage confrontation at Money in the Bank could lead to Solo Sikoa attacking main event Jey during the ladder match. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa can get involved too. This would prompt Uso to quit Raw and return to SmackDown, so he can finally stand up to his power-hungry brother after a year of distancing himself from his family. A feud between Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa seems inevitable, with this a solid pathway to their first match. The brothers can face each other at SummerSlam under Bloodline rules. But if the Yeet Master is facing Solo, what will Roman Reigns do when he returns? Number 5. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes III. Hell in a Cell. The Tribal Chief is currently enjoying a well-deserved break from WWE. However, once Roman Reigns returns, he will be coming back for everything. While he could confront Solo Sikoa about the new bloodline, the Tribal Chief may want to reclaim the title he lost at WrestleMania 40. The key to becoming the head of the table, Reigns may challenge Cody Rhodes to one final match for the undisputed WWE Championship inside Hell in a Cell. This would ensure zero interference from the bloodline or anyone else, essentially planting the seeds for the Samoan Star's babyface turn. Not only would this be a huge way for Roman Reigns to return, but it would also raise SummerSlam's value as a WrestleMania equivalent show. WWE needs to ensure that happens through the end of the trilogy between Reigns and Rhodes. After the American Nightmare wins, Solo Sikoa can then attack his cousin on the following SmackDown and kick him out of the bloodline. This would officially kick off the next big chapter in Roman Reigns' illustrious story, as he reforms the original trio as a babyface.